You have to discipline your mind. This is one of the most important things you can do if you want to live a better life and reach your goals. Your mind is where everything starts. Your actions, your decisions, and your habits. If your mind is scattered or filled with doubts, it becomes hard to make progress. But when you learn to control your thoughts, focus clearly, and challenge the beliefs that hold you back, everything changes. This isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about training yourself to think in a way that pushes you forward, even when things get tough. If you want to understand how to take charge of your mind and build the kind of mental strength that keeps you moving ahead, no matter what, this message is for you. Stick around and discover practical ways to strengthen your mind and create the discipline needed to live the life you want. Let's begin. Number 1. Train your thoughts to focus only on growth. Discipline begins in the mind. Every step you take toward success starts with how you think. If your thoughts are scattered, filled with doubt, soaked in fear, or chained to your past, progress will be slow, if it comes at all. But when you train your mind to focus only on growth, you give yourself a chance to rise. Not just to move, but to move in the right direction. You don't wake up disciplined. No one does. You train yourself to become that way. You make decisions, small decisions, every single day that shape how you think. The mind is not meant to wander without purpose. It will follow the strongest thoughts. And if those thoughts are about growth, about progress, about improvement, then your life will begin to reflect those thoughts. This is not about pretending everything is fine. This is about training your thoughts to choose the next best action, even when things aren't fine. It's easy to get caught up in what went wrong, who disappointed you, how hard life is, and maybe all of that is true. But thinking about those things over and over won't change them. What changes your life is a decision to think about what can be done next. Discipline is about turning your attention away from what weakens you and toward what strengthens you. The world will offer distractions. Some of them will be loud. Some of them will be tempting. Some will even look like opportunities. But if they do not contribute to your growth, they are pulling you backward. That's why your mind must be trained to know the difference, to recognize what builds you and what breaks you, what feeds your purpose and what only feeds your comfort. Every morning, you wake up with a choice. Will you focus on what's missing, or will you focus on what's possible? That choice sets the tone for your entire day. If you let your mind wander into self-pity or frustration, it becomes harder to see what's right in front of you. But when you discipline your thinking, you give your mind a job. You tell it where to go, and it starts working for you, instead of against you. People often say they're stuck. But most of the time, they're not stuck physically. They're stuck mentally. They've convinced themselves that nothing will change, that they've tried everything, that they don't have what it takes. And if you believe that, it becomes your reality. But if you train your thoughts to focus on solutions, if you force yourself to ask what's next, what's possible, what's one thing I can do today, that changes everything. Your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. So what are you feeding your mind? What are you focusing on when no one's watching? When the day is quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, what are you telling yourself? Growth is not something you stumble into. Growth is something you decide to pursue. And that pursuit starts in your mind, long before it shows up in your results. The key is to interrupt every negative pattern with a better thought. When your mind starts to spiral, stop it. Replace it with a thought that lifts you, that reminds you of your goals, that tells you the truth, not just your feelings. Feelings come and go, but discipline stays. Discipline says, I know this is uncomfortable, but I choose to stay focused. Discipline says, I know I've failed before, but I choose to learn from it. Discipline says, I won't feed my fears. I'll feed my growth. You don't have to feel confident every moment, but you do need to train your thoughts to stay committed, because confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. And that starts by choosing thoughts that push you forward, not thoughts that drag you back. Don't give your energy to stories that make you feel small. Give your energy to actions that make you grow. And remember, growth doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in small steps. A focused mind sees those small steps and takes them. An undisciplined mind sees the size of the mountain and gives up. Your job is not to climb the whole mountain in one day. Your job is to take one step, then another, then another. Each one taken with intention, each one chosen through thought, not emotion. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are what you choose to think about those things. And when you choose to see them as lessons, you grow. When you choose to think about what's possible instead of what's lost, you grow. When you stop feeding the drama and start feeding your potential, you grow. This kind of mindset doesn't come from one good day. It comes from training. Daily, consistent training. You wake up and train your thoughts the same way an athlete trains their body. You put in the mental reps. You read. You listen. You reflect. You decide. You say no to what weakens your mind. You say yes to what sharpens it. And slowly, your thoughts begin to align with the life you want to live. Growth isn't something you watch happen to others. Growth is something you earn through intention, through clarity, through discipline. The moment you stop treating your thoughts like random visitors and start treating them like your responsibility, everything changes. Your thoughts build your habits. Your habits build your character. Your character builds your future. If you want a better life, you need better thinking. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need approval from others. You don't need a miracle. You need disciplined thinking. You need the ability to catch yourself when your thoughts start to drift into self-doubt. You need the strength to say no, I'm not going there today, and the courage to say yes, I'm going to work for what I believe in. This is your work. It's quiet work. It's daily work, but it's the kind of work that shapes every part of your life. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you must begin with how you think. Because a mind trained to grow will find a way forward. It will turn struggle into strength. It will turn obstacles into effort. It will turn today into something better than yesterday. And the good news is, anyone can do this. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, no matter how long you've been off track. You can choose today to start training your thought. You can decide right now to focus only on growth. You can build a mindset that doesn't quit, a heart that doesn't settle, and a future that reflects the best of you, not the weakest part of you. And it all starts in the mind. Discipline it, focus it, train it every single day, because growth is not given. It's earned by the way you think when no one else sees. Number 2, force your mind to reject every weak excuse. Excuses are the lies we tell ourselves to stay the same. They sound reasonable, even logical, but they're built on fear, not fear of failure, but fear of effort, fear of being uncomfortable, fear of change. Your job is to train your mind to recognize excuses and remove them before they become habits. Because the more you entertain them, the more they become part of how you think and who you are. Your mind is powerful, but if you don't take control of it, it will take the easy road. Every time. That easy road is where excuses live. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I don't know where to start. I've already failed before. These thoughts sound like facts, but they're not. They are decisions. You can either believe them or challenge them. Weak excuses are attractive because they offer relief. They tell you it's okay to wait. They tell you that your situation is different. They tell you tomorrow will be better. But none of that is real. What's real is the moment you have right now. What's real is your ability to take responsibility for what you think, what you do, and who you become. Every excuse has one purpose: to protect you from effort. But effort is where discipline grows. You don't get stronger by avoiding discomfort. You get stronger by doing what's necessary when you don't feel like it. You don't build a better life by explaining why you can't. You build it by refusing to settle for what's easy. When your mind tries to convince you to give up, that's the exact moment you must lean in. That's the moment you either fall back or move forward. Discipline means choosing growth over comfort again and again. Weak excuses ask you to wait until the conditions are perfect. But there are no perfect conditions. There's only your choice. When you force your mind to reject those excuses, you stop giving yourself permission to stay small. You stop defending your limitations. You stop justifying your procrastination. And you start making real progress. Not the kind of progress people clap for, but the kind that changes how you feel when you look in the mirror. The kind that builds self-respect. People who change their lives do not wait for motivation. They don't need a perfect morning or the right energy. They decide, they commit, and they act in spite of discomfort. Excuses are loud in the beginning, but once you get moving, they lose their power. That's how discipline is formed. Through the decision to move anyway, to work anyway, to keep going even when your mind screams for a break. When you tell yourself, I don't have time, ask yourself how much time you've spent scrolling, doubting, waiting, and worrying. Those are hours that could have been used building something. Time is not your enemy. Time is your test. And excuses are how you fail that test. Your job is to remove the option of excuse making, to close the door completely, to not even let those thoughts get air. You can't think your way out of weakness. You must act your way out. You must take steps in the direction of effort every day, even small ones, especially small ones, because that's where the resistance starts to fade, and that's where confidence begins to grow. Not from big wins, but from consistent action with no room for excuses. There are people with fewer resources doing more than you. There are people with greater struggles showing more discipline. Why? Because they stopped telling themselves stories that hold them back. They decided that whatever their situation, they would not be ruled by weakness. That decision changed everything. And that same decision is available to you right now. You have to stop giving excuses a place in your thinking. They don't belong there. They are not helping you. They are not protecting you. They are not supporting your goals. They are keeping you stuck. Every time you choose an excuse, you delay your growth. You put off your progress, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break that cycle. When you wake up, you have to train your mind to focus on action, not avoidance. Discipline begins with the first thought you allow to stay. If that thought is weak, everything after it will be weak. If that thought is strong, your behavior follows. You have to become someone who tells the truth about your own behavior, someone who holds themselves to a higher standard, someone who refuses to be lied to by their own thinking. When your mind says, I can't, push back. When it says not today, stand up. When it says maybe later, act now. That's how mental toughness is built. That's how excuses lose their grip. You don't reason with them. You replace them with action, with honesty, with commitment. You don't need to feel like it. You don't need to wait for clarity. You just need to decide that you will no longer be guided by weakness, that you will not let temporary feelings control your future, that you will choose discipline over comfort every time it matters, and especially when it's hardest. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build by refusing to give in to easy, refusing to settle for your first thought, refusing to stop just because something got hard. That's how you earn pride. That's how you earn progress. And it begins with the simple decision to reject every weak excuse, no no matter how real it feels in the moment. You will not rise with excuses in your mind. You will not grow if you keep believing the thoughts that protect your comfort. You have to see every excuse for what it is: a trap that keeps you average. And if you want something better than average, you have to become someone better than who you've been. This takes daily effort. It takes honesty. It takes grit. But more than anything, it takes a decision, a final, solid, unshakable decision to never again let weak excuses shape your choices. Because the life you want is not built by what you avoid. It's built by what you conquer. Number 3, build mental strength by doing hard things daily. Mental strength is not something you inherit. It's something you develop through action, through deliberate effort, through showing up to the challenges you would rather avoid. If you want a mind that can endure pressure, disappointment, rejection, fatigue, and doubt, you have to earn it. And the only way to earn it is by doing something difficult every day. Not once in a while. Not only when it's convenient, but daily. That's how real inner strength is built. Comfort teaches you nothing. It makes you passive. It softens your ability to endure. It limits your capacity to deal with life when it gets hard. And life will get hard. Not once or twice, but over and over. The question is not whether difficulty will come. The question is whether your mind is prepared to face it when it does. And that preparation happens through action. You can read all the books you want. You can listen to advice all day. But if you avoid the hard things, your mind will never grow strong. Discipline is built through resistance. Each time you force yourself to do something uncomfortable, you gain control over the lazy parts of your mind. You prove to yourself that feelings are not facts. That just because you don't feel like doing something doesn't mean you skip it. Mental strength grows when you choose responsibility over excuses, effort over ease, and commitment over comfort. Most people only do what they feel like doing. They stop when it hurts. They quit when it's boring. They walk away when results don't show up fast. That mindset keeps them stuck. But when you commit to doing hard things on purpose every single day, your tolerance for difficulty increases. You stop running from discomfort. You begin to lean into it, because you understand it is shaping you. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be hard. Wake up earlier than you want. Finish a task you've been putting off. Do a workout when your body is tired. Have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. These small acts may not look like much on the surface, but they are building something within you. They're giving you proof that you can push through, that you can handle resistance, that you can follow through, regardless of emotion. Most people never build mental strength because they wait for motivation. But motivation is weak. It disappears the moment things become difficult. What you need is discipline. What you need is consistency. What you need is the mindset that says, "This is hard, but I'm doing it anyway." That kind of thinking doesn't happen by accident. It happens by choice, by training, by repetition. There's something powerful that happens when you do something hard and finish it. You feel different. You carry yourself differently. You respect yourself more. That respect is what builds confidence. Not compliments, not praise, but knowing that you've earned it, that you didn't take the easy route, that you faced the challenge and came out stronger. You won't build a sharp mind by only doing what's safe. You won't build discipline by giving in to every excuse. You won't become resilient by avoiding what's difficult. Every time you skip the hard thing, you train yourself to run. Every time you face it, you train yourself to fight, to endure, to stay in control when everything inside you wants to give up. Hard things teach you who you are. They reveal what you truly value. Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort for progress? Are you willing to push through the frustration to reach your goal? Are you willing to face yourself in the middle of the work? Not when you're at your best, but when you're exhausted, uncertain, or discouraged. That's where your real strength is tested. That's where it's built. If you want a mind that stays steady under pressure, you have to train it daily. You can't do it once and expect it to stick. You have to expose yourself to effort again and again until it becomes your normal, until your mind understands that discomfort isn't danger. It's the cost of strength. That every hard thing you do today prepares you for the even harder things ahead. You don't get mentally stronger by hoping. You get stronger by doing, especially when you don't want to. Especially when everything in you wants to stop. Because that's where the growth is. Not in perfection, but in the persistence. Not in the outcome, but in the decision to keep showing up. Keep trying. Keep grinding. Even when it's slow. Even when it's not fun. This is the difference between people who grow and people who stay the same. Growth is not a feeling. It's a pattern of action. It's a choice to rise when it's easier to sit, a choice to take responsibility when you'd rather blame, a choice to get up after failure instead of feeling sorry for yourself. These choices stack up. They become your identity. And before long, you're not just doing hard things. You're becoming someone who thrives in them. You must stop running from the effort. Stop avoiding the task. Stop looking for shortcuts. The strength you want is on the other side of the hard thing you don't want to do. And if you wait until it feels right, you'll never do it. You have to decide that hard things are not a punishment. They are your training ground. They are the gym for your mind. They are the reason you get tougher, wiser, sharper, better. Every day you get the opportunity to build or break discipline. Every action counts. Every decision adds up. If you're not doing hard things on purpose, then you're letting your mind grow soft. And a soft mind can't lead a strong life. It gives up early. It blames quickly. It avoids truth. That's why this matters. That's why doing hard things daily is not optional. If you want to grow, the greatest changes in your life will come from what you decide to face, not what you choose to avoid. Mental strength is earned through repetition, struggle, focus, and grit. There's no other way to build it. There are no shortcuts. You train it one choice at a time, one uncomfortable action at a time, one disciplined day at a time. And the result is a mind that no longer flinches, no longer quits, no longer needs perfect conditions to move forward. Number 4, control your attention and stop chasing distractions. Your attention is your most valuable resource. It determines what you notice, what you act on, and what you build in your life. If your attention is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your attention is weak, your progress will be slow. And if your attention is constantly pulled in different directions, you will never experience real focus or deep achievement. Controlling your attention is not just about improving productivity. It's about reclaiming your mind and directing your energy towards something that matters. We live in a time where distractions are everywhere. You don't even have to look for them. They find you. Notifications, updates, endless scrolling and noise. And most people have no defense against them. They check their phone every few minutes. They bounce from one task to another without finishing anything. They chase stimulation and call it multitasking. But what they're really doing is avoiding focus. To discipline your mind, you must first discipline your attention. You must learn to notice when it starts to drift and bring it back. You must catch yourself when you reach for your phone out of habit, not purpose. You must become someone who can sit with one task and see it through, even when it gets uncomfortable. Because attention is not just about what you're doing, it's about who you're becoming while you do it. Every time you give in to a distraction, you weaken your focus muscle. You train your brain to avoid effort. You teach yourself that it's okay to escape the moment anytime it feels hard or boring. And over time, that pattern becomes normal. It becomes automatic until you find yourself unable to concentrate for more than a few minutes without craving something new, something easier, something faster. But the real work, the meaningful, rewarding, life-changing work, only happens when you learn to stay, to stick with the uncomfortable silence, to keep your focus on what matters, even when no one is watching, to be fully present in your effort without jumping to the next thing at the first sign of resistance. That kind of focus isn't natural. It's earned. It takes repetition. It takes intention. And it takes the courage to disconnect from the noise. You have to stop allowing your mind to be hijacked by meaningless inputs. You have to stop letting other people decide where your attention goes. You have to stop chasing every new thing that offers quick pleasure, but no lasting value. Your goals require more from you. Your future demands more from you. And that starts with learning how to direct your attention, like a laser, not a flashlight. You can't go deep if you're constantly pulled in different directions. You can't make real progress if you're switching from task to task every few minutes. You can't master anything if your brain is addicted to checking, refreshing, consuming, and reacting. Mastery begins with focus. Growth begins with attention. And discipline begins when you decide to stop letting distractions run your day. This means setting boundaries. It means saying no to things that waste your time. It means turning off what doesn't matter so you can turn on what does. It means choosing silence over noise, creation over consumption, direction over reaction. These are not always easy choices, but they are powerful ones. They are the kind of choices that separate the disciplined from the distracted. You must take ownership of your attention. You must build habits that support it. That means having time each day when you are unreachable. It means creating blocks of deep work where nothing gets your attention but the task in front of you. It means organizing your environment to reduce temptation. You don't fight distraction with willpower alone. You fight it with structure, with clarity, with a plan. People often say they don't have enough time, but what they really lack is focused time. Time without distraction. Time where the full weight of their attention is applied to one goal. That kind of time is rare, but it's also where the most progress happens, and it's not given to you. You have to protect it. You have to guard it from interruption, from noise, from every little thing that wants to steal your focus, control your attention. Like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your attention is what creates your habits. Your habits create your results. And your results create your future. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to growth. Every time you choose stimulation over structure, you're pushing your dreams further away. You can't move forward while chasing every little thing that shows up in your path. This is where the inner battle is fought. Not with dramatic choices, but with daily decisions. The decision to stay in the work when it gets dull. The decision to finish the task instead of checking your feed. The decision to take control instead of being controlled. These decisions seem small in the moment, but over time, they shape who you are. They define your discipline. When you learn to control your attention, you become dangerous. You become someone who finishes what they start. Someone who doesn't need to be entertained, to stay engaged. Someone who gets more done in a few focused hours than others do in days of distraction. That is the kind of person who changes their life. That is the kind of person who makes real impact. Most people will continue to be pulled in every direction. They'll continue to chase dopamine instead of discipline. They'll continue to scatter their focus and wonder why they're stuck. But you don't have to live that way. You can choose to take back control. You can train your mind to ignore the noise and stay on the path. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It starts with awareness. Where is your attention going today? What are you allowing into your mental space? What is stealing your time and offering nothing in return? Answering those questions honestly is the first step toward freedom. And once you see it clearly, you'll realize that you don't have to follow every distraction. You don't have to be a slave to your habit. You don't have to keep living in reaction. You can slow down. You can choose what to focus on. You can direct your attention toward the things that actually move your life forward. That's how you build a mind that works for you instead of against you. That's how you stop living on autopilot. That's how you develop the discipline to keep showing up, fully engaged, fully focused, fully committed, one moment at a time. Number 5, push your mind to stay calm under pressure. There are moments in life when everything feels like it's falling apart. Deadlines pile up. Situations get out of hand. People expect more than you can give. And inside, you feel the heat rising. That's pressure. That's stress pressing against your chest, and your thoughts racing ahead of reason. And this is where most people panic. This is where many lose control. But this is also where you find out who you really are. Not in comfort, but in pressure. And the key is to train your mind, not to react with panic, but to stay calm and clear. You must build the ability to stay still when everything around you feels unstable. Calm is not weakness. Calm is strength under control. It means you're not moved by chaos. It means you can think clearly, even when others are falling apart. When everyone else is overwhelmed and loud, you must become steady and grounded. Because the one who stays calm sees the situation as it is. The one who stays calm makes better decisions. The one who stays calm leads. Pressure comes in many forms. It can show up in your work, in your relationships, in a big moment you're preparing for. It can come without warning. And if you haven't trained your mind, you will break under it. But if you've pushed yourself to stay steady in the small things, you'll have the strength to stay composed when bigger challenges arrive. That's the secret. You don't wait until you're under pressure to learn calm. You practice it. When things are quiet, you train yourself to breathe deeply instead of react quickly. You train your thoughts to slow down instead of racing into fear. You teach your mind that panic never solves anything. It only makes the situation worse. And once your mind understands that, you begin to build something powerful inside. Something that doesn't shake at every wave. Something that holds firm when tension builds. Look around and you'll see people who've allowed pressure to break them. They let the stress eat them up. They lash out. They shut down. They avoid responsibility. But you don't have to follow that pattern. You can choose a different response. You can rise when pressure pushes down. You can lead your thoughts instead of being led by them. You can remain calm. Not because the problem is small, but because your mindset is strong. This starts with how you think about pressure. Instead of seeing it as something to fear, begin seeing it as something to face, as something to step into, not run from. The more you confront pressure with a steady mind, the less power it holds over you. Pressure is not the problem. Your response to it is. Most people feed their stress with negative thoughts. They imagine the worst. They overthink. They spiral. But you can choose to pause. You can learn to break that chain of panic. There's power in the pause. In the moment you stop and take a breath. In the decision to not act out of fear. In the space between pressure and reaction. You gain control. You remind yourself, I can handle this. I've prepared for this. I don't need to lose myself just because the situation is intense. That kind of mental control doesn't just show up. It is earned through discipline. Through facing discomfort again and again until it no longer shakes you. Put yourself in small situations that test your calm. Wake up earlier than you want to. Push through a tough workout. Sit in silence. And focus when your mind wants stimulation. Handle a tough conversation without raising your voice. These moments build layers of calm. And when the big pressure comes, your mind will remember that it's been here before. That it knows how to remain stable. That it doesn't need to break. you also have to take care of your physical state. A mind under pressure needs a strong body. Sleep, movement, and nutrition are not optional. They keep your brain sharp and your emotions steady. You can't stay calm if your body is in chaos. You can't think clearly if your habits are weak. Calm under pressure is not just about what you do in the moment. It's about the life you've built leading up to that moment. You must also protect your inner world. You must choose what you feed your mind. You must surround yourself with people who stay composed and avoid those who bring noise and panic. You must learn to direct your focus toward solutions, not problems. Toward action, not blame. Toward growth, not fear. These choices stack up. They create a foundation that holds you steady when the pressure starts to rise. Most people don't realize that staying calm is a choice. They think it's something you're born with, or something you only feel when everything is going right. But calm is not passive. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about facing the storm with your feet planted. It's about managing your state, even when your emotions pull you in every direction. Calm is built, not found. When pressure comes, it's not just a test of the moment, it's a test of your preparation. Have you trained your mind? Have you taught yourself to breathe instead of panic? Have you practiced discipline in your thinking? Have you built the strength to hold yourself together when it matters most? If not, start today. Because the pressure won't stop. Life will continue to test you. But you can become someone who meets every test with clarity, with control, with calm. You don't have to be overwhelmed. You don't have to let anxiety take over. You don't have to fall apart just because things got hard. You can train your nervous system to stay level. You can teach your brain to respond with presence. You can carry yourself with calm when everyone else is carried away by stress. That's what leadership looks like. That's what strength sounds like. That's what discipline feels like. Each time you push your mind to remain calm, you build a deeper level of control. You prove to yourself that emotions don't have to lead your actions. That discomfort doesn't have to lead to chaos. That intensity doesn't have to shake your identity. You rise above the moment, not by ignoring it, but by owning your response to it. That's where calm begins. Not in the situation, but in the choice you make within yourself. Number 6, break negative patterns by choosing better thoughts. Every person wakes up with a mind full of thoughts, and not all of them help. Some of them hold you back. Some of them repeat the same old stories that keep you stuck. These thoughts become habits. They shape how you feel, how you act, and how you live. The dangerous part is how quiet and automatic these thoughts can be. They don't ask permission. They just show up and try to take control. And unless you catch them, they'll keep driving your life in the wrong direction. Breaking those patterns is not about waiting for your mind to change on its own. It's about recognizing the patterns that don't serve you and making the choice to direct your thinking towards something stronger. Your mind is like a path in the woods. The more you walk a path, the more it becomes the default. But the moment you step off that path and start carving a new one, you begin the process of change. It's not comfortable. It takes effort, but it leads somewhere better. A lot of people carry around old thought patterns that were planted years ago. Maybe someone told them they weren't good enough. Maybe they failed once and believed that would always be the case. Maybe they've been repeating the same beliefs without ever stopping to question them. But beliefs are just repeated thoughts, and you can stop repeating them by choosing better ones. You don't break negative patterns with wishful thinking. You do it with awareness and action. You notice the thought when it shows up. You pause and ask, does this help me or hurt me? You make a decision not to feed the thought that keeps you small. And then you choose a better thought. One that lifts you. One that strengthens you. One that gives you direction instead of doubt. Negative thoughts are stubborn. They try to convince you they're telling the truth. They speak with confidence. They make you feel like they're protecting you. But what they really do is limit your life. They make you afraid to try. They make you feel undeserving. They tell you to stay where it's safe, even if safe means miserable. And over time, they become the lens you see everything through. But once you understand that you are not your thoughts, everything changes. You are the one who listens to those thoughts. You are the one who decides which ones get attention. You are the one who gives power to a thought by focusing on it. And that means you can take that power back. You can start to train your mind the same way you train a muscle, with daily work, with discipline, and with intention. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to the thoughts that show up when you face a challenge. Listen to what your mind says when something doesn't go your way. Watch how you talk to yourself when you feel pressure. If those thoughts are filled with fear, judgment, or limitation, don't let them take over. Stop them in their tracks. Say to yourself, "That's an old thought. I don't need to keep thinking that." Then replace it with something stronger. If your mind says, "I always mess things up," you respond with, "I learn and improve every day." If your thought is, "I'll never get through this," replace it with, "I've handled hard things before, and I will again." This is not about lying to yourself. It's about choosing thoughts that give you strength instead of stealing it. Thoughts that move you forward instead of keeping you stuck. You won't always feel like it. There will be days when the negative thoughts come louder and faster. That's when the work matters most. You can't wait to feel positive. You have to train your mind to become positive by choice. It's like lifting weights. It's hard at first, but the more you do it, the stronger you get. The same applies to your thinking. Build the habit of checking in with your mind throughout the day. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? If the answer is something that makes you feel powerless or hopeless, you need to change the channel. Don't argue with the thought. Don't fight it. Just replace it. Again and again until the new thought becomes the stronger one. And understand that this is daily work. You don't break patterns overnight. You break them by choosing better thoughts today and then doing it again tomorrow. You stay consistent. You stay focused. You don't expect perfection. You expect progress. One shift at a time, one better thought at a time. That's how change is made. You also have to create an environment that supports better thinking. Cut out the noise that feeds negativity. Distance yourself from people who reinforce your doubts. Spend less time on things that leave you feeling drained. And invest your time and energy in learning, building, creating, improving. Feed your mind with truth, with growth, with ideas that challenge and stretch you. Most people think they're stuck because of their circumstances, but many times it's their thinking that's keeping them stuck. They haven't yet realized that the problem is not always outside. It's often inside. And that's a good thing, because it means the solution is within your reach. It means you don't have to wait for the world to change before you can change. You can start now. You can take ownership of your mind and begin guiding it where you want it to go. You'll start to notice small victories, moments where you would have reacted with doubt, but instead you chose confidence. Days where you stayed focused when your old patterns would have pulled you into worry. You'll feel a sense of strength building from within, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger in how you handle it. And that's the real reward of choosing better thoughts. You become the kind of person who lives with clarity and purpose. There's no finish line to this. You keep growing. You keep evolving. You keep choosing. And with every better thought, you break free a little more. You open new doors. You become someone who doesn't just wish for a better life. You think your way into one. And that's how you break the old patterns. That's how you rewrite the story. By standing guard at the door of your mind and refusing to let negativity control the narrative. Number 7. Demand your brain to think with clarity. Always. Your mind can't lead you where you want to go. if it's filled with confusion. You can't move forward when your thinking is messy and all over the place. A scattered brain makes scattered choices, and scattered choices build a scattered life. That's why it's important to get serious about demanding clarity. You don't wait for it to show up. You don't hope your mind just becomes clear one day. You build that clarity by being deliberate, by deciding that your mind will work for you, not against you. Most people let their thoughts run wild. They let every worry, every doubt, every distraction take space in their head without ever questioning it. They allow every situation to stir up mental noise until they can't tell what matters and what doesn't. And when your head is full of noise, you miss the truth. You miss the opportunity to think straight. That's a dangerous place to live in, because when you can't think clearly, you can't act with confidence. You hesitate, you second guess, you delay action, you end up wasting time and energy, because your thoughts are not helping you get anywhere. Clarity doesn't come from the outside, it's built from within. It's built by slowing down, getting quiet, and taking control of your focus. You start by stripping away what isn't necessary. You stop filling your mind with things that don't deserve your attention. You step back and ask, what really matters right now? If you can't answer that question, then you're not thinking clearly. You're reacting. You're being pulled instead of choosing your direction. Train yourself to ask better questions. When your mind feels foggy, don't just push through. Step back and get honest. What are you thinking about right now? What are you worried about? What are you assuming that may not even be true? What are you allowing to sit in your head that has no place there? Most of the clutter in our thinking is made of assumptions, imagined problems, and old baggage. When you shine a light on it, you realize most of it can be dropped. If you want clarity, start by cleaning up the way you think. Simply to yourself, be direct. Don't complicate things. Don't create stories in your head about things that haven't even happened. Look at what is real. Face what is true. Break things down into small, clear pieces. What needs to be done right now? What's one action you can take? What is under your control in this moment? These kinds of questions lead your brain out of confusion and into strength. Clarity is also about cutting emotional noise. When you're overwhelmed or afraid, your thinking becomes distorted. You see problems where there are none. You imagine outcomes that haven't happened. You blow small issues out of proportion. That's when you need to take a breath and regain your grip on reality. Emotions aren't bad, but they can fog your thinking if you don't manage them. Stay calm. Observe your feelings, but don't become. Keep your mind sharp by making it your habit to pause, assess, and move forward with a level head. You need space to think clearly. That means creating room in your day for reflection. Quiet time isn't a luxury. It's necessary. Even 10 minutes of silence can help you reset your mind. During that time, ask yourself, what do I need to focus on today? What is the most important thing I must handle? What do I need to stop thinking about? These are simple but powerful prompts that force your brain to organize your thoughts. Clarity also comes from truth. Don't lie to yourself. Don't sugarcoat things. Don't avoid hard facts. If you're not where you want to be, admit it. If you've made poor choices, own them. If you've been distracted or lazy, face it. Clear thinking requires honesty. The moment you stop pretending, your brain starts finding real solutions. But as long as you protect your comfort by hiding behind false stories, your thinking stays foggy. Eliminate what's unnecessary. Every distraction, every pointless task, every piece of information you don't need steals energy from your brain. Be ruthless about what you let into your head. If something doesn't help you think better or move forward, block it out. Your brain has limits. Don't waste its power on things that don't matter. Save your energy for what counts. That's how clarity is built, by managing your mental bandwidth like it's gold. Demanding your brain to think clearly is not something you do once. It's something you do every day, in every situation. You develop it like a muscle. When confusion starts creeping in, you don't let it take over. You stop it early. You ask questions. You take a breath. You create space to think. You bring your focus back to what matters. That's discipline. That's control. That's mental leadership. Also, stop being passive about your thinking. Most people wait for clarity. They hope they'll feel motivated. They wait for inspiration. That's not how a strong mind works. A strong mind takes charge. It says, I will be clear right now. I will focus. I will decide. You train that mindset every time you choose to stay present, instead of drifting. Every time you remove distractions and center yourself, you're building that discipline. Practice filtering your thoughts. Not every thought deserves attention. Some thoughts are just noise. Some are old fears, dressed in new clothes. Some are the opinions of others that don't align with your values. Learn to separate useful thoughts from useless ones. If a thought gives you direction, keep it. If it leads you into confusion or weakness, let it go. It's that simple. Not easy, but simple. Get clear on what you want. A clear goal clears your thinking. When you know where you're going, it's easier to choose how to think, what to ignore, and where to put your energy. People who drift through life rarely think with clarity because they haven't decided what they want. Decide. Be specific. Set standards, and then use those standards to shape how you think every single day. When you catch your brain wandering into overthinking, don't let it run wild. Pull it back. Say, not now. We have work to do. Stay focused on what builds you. Think in straight lines. Organize your priorities. Use structure. Don't live in chaos. Chaos weakens you. Clarity strengthens you. And the more you demand it from your mind, the more natural it becomes. You train your brain to serve you. You shape it into a tool that moves your life in the right direction. You lead your mind instead of letting your mind lead you. That's how you take control of your future. By learning to think with power, not with noise. Number 8. Direct your mind toward action, not overthinking. There comes a time when thinking more is not helping you. There's a limit to how much analysis is useful. After that point, more thinking only slows you down. It builds fear. It feeds doubt. It creates confusion. You sit there going in circles, stuck in your head, instead of moving forward with your life. That's what overthinking does. It takes energy that could build your future and wastes it on hesitation. The mind is a powerful tool, but it must be aimed toward doing, not just thinking. Your life changes when you stop trying to get everything perfect in your mind and start taking steps with your feet. You build confidence by doing. You build momentum by moving. Even if the step is small, it's a step. And every step teaches you something you can never learn by just sitting around and thinking about it. You grow stronger, not by sitting in silence trying to figure it all out, but by doing what's in front of you and learning from it. You don't need more opinions. You don't need to ask 10 people what they think. You don't need to read another article or scroll through more ideas. What you need is a decision. You need to say, this is what I'm doing, and I'll adjust as I go. That level of mental control changes everything. That kind of discipline makes your mind your ally instead of your enemy. The people who move forward in life are not the ones who always had the perfect plan. They are the ones who got up and started. They got their hands dirty. They made mistakes. Yes, but they moved. They learned. They adjusted, and because they took action, their mind became sharper. Their decisions became clearer. That's how progress works. You get stronger through experience, not through endless thought. Stop giving your mind the freedom to dwell on everything that could go wrong. Stop letting it drag you into the past or push you into imaginary problems. When your mind starts spinning, pause and say, what action can I take right now? That's how you train it to be useful. You guide it back to the present. You aim it at something real. You move from theory to action. Every time you choose to act instead of overthink, you break a cycle. You stop the habit of delay. You shut down the fear that grows from inaction. The longer you sit on a decision, the heavier it feels. And that weight builds pressure. That pressure creates stress. That stress fuels anxiety. Before you know it, your mind is in chaos, and the smallest task feels impossible. That's why the first step matters so much. It clears space in your head. It gives you proof that you're capable. It starts a chain reaction that gets you back into control. Directing your mind toward action means choosing progress over perfection. It means accepting that you might not get it right the first time. And that's okay. What matters more than doing it perfectly is doing it consistently. Every action you take gives you more information. Every time you move forward, you see more, you learn more, and you become more. That's how clarity is built. Not in your head, but in your life. You also need to create structure for your thought. If your brain is always wandering, always jumping from one worry to the next, you must discipline it. You tell it where to go. You give it a task. You say, "We're working on this now. We'll deal with the rest later." And then you do the work. Not perfectly, not endlessly, just one task, one focus, one step. That's how you break the habit of mental chaos. Many people confuse thinking with progress. They feel like they're working hard because their mind is busy, but that's not real work. Real work is doing something with your hands, your body, your time. Real progress is when something in your life actually changes, not just in your imagination. Your brain is not meant to carry the weight of everything. It's meant to guide you toward action. When you treat it like a storage unit for every problem and every plan, you overwhelm it. But when you treat it like a compass and let your body do the walking, your energy flows in the right direction. The moment you stop waiting for perfect certainty is the moment you start growing. There's no magic clarity coming tomorrow. There's no perfect sign that will show up and remove all your fear. What you have is today. What you have is this moment. And in this moment, you have a choice. Sit and think about what might happen. Or move and learn by doing. Choose to move. Choose to build. Choose to try. That's how you take your power back. You won't feel ready. That's normal. The mind likes to wait until everything feels safe. But if you keep waiting for that, you'll never do anything meaningful. Courage comes first. Certainty comes later. You act first, and then your brain adjusts. You face the fear, and then the fear fades. That's how it works. That's how you become stronger. By doing what your overthinking mind tells you to avoid. Set small goals. Break things down. Make it so simple that your mind has no excuse. Just one task. Just 1 hour. Just one step. Don't make it bigger than it is. The bigger it looks in your head, the harder it becomes to act. Shrink it down. Start. Begin. Move. That's your power. That's your freedom. When your brain says, "What if?" you answer with, "Watch me." Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's saying enough thinking. It's time to act. That kind of talk builds a strong mind. That kind of decision separates you from the crowd. Most people are stuck in their heads. You can't afford to live like that. You've got goals. You've got standards. You've got a life to build. Don't waste your strength sitting still in fear. Channel your strength into movement. Use your mornings to train your thinking. Get up and decide your top priority. Write it down. Say it out loud. Then do something that brings you closer to it. That one act in the morning will give your mind a direction. It will give your thoughts a job. And when your thoughts have a job, they serve you. They stop dragging you into worry and instead push you into action. And remember, overthinking is not intelligence. It's fear, pretending to be wisdom. Real wisdom knows when to act. Real strength knows when to stop asking and start doing. Don't confuse planning with progress. Don't confuse fear with preparation. Direct your thoughts to support you, not to stop you. Command your mind. Don't let it command you. Train it to lead with action. That's how you build discipline. That's how you build a life you're proud of. That's how you rise above hesitation. Number 9. Sharpen your focus by saying no to noise. In today's world, noise is everywhere. It's not just sound, but distractions, interruptions, and clutter in your mind that pull your attention in every direction. Your mind was made to focus, to zero in on what matters, and to work deeply. But that can only happen when you decide what to let in and what to keep out. Saying no to noise is one of the most powerful ways to sharpen your focus and discipline your mind. Every yes to noise is a yes to chaos. Every no is a step toward clarity. Noise comes in many forms. It's the endless notifications popping up on your phone. It's the conversations pulling you away from your work. It's the mental chatter that won't stop. It's the thoughts that jump from worry to doubt, to fear. When your mind is full of noise, it can't think clearly. It can't make strong decisions. It feels tired, scattered, and overwhelmed. Your productivity drops, your motivation dips, and your energy fades. You start the day with good intentions, but end it feeling like you've been pulled in 1,000 directions with nothing to show for it. Saying no to noise means protecting your mind. It means setting boundaries. It means choosing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. You don't have to answer every message right away. You don't have to jump on every trend or react to every opinion. You decide what is important and what is not. You control what influences your mood and your mindset. This choice is a form of mental discipline that builds your strength and sharpens your focus. Imagine your mind as a camera lens. The clearer and more focused the lens, the sharper the picture. When you allow noise, the lens gets foggy. The image blurs. Details get lost. Important things don't stand out. You lose sight of your goals because your mind is distracted by everything else. But when you say no to noise, you clean the lens. You clear the fog. The picture becomes sharp. Your goals come into focus. Your mind works like a laser beam. You see the path clearly and move forward with confidence. One practical way to say no to noise is to create blocks of time when you are fully present with your task. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, put your phone in another room if you have to. Give yourself permission to be fully engaged in what matters most at that moment. This act of protecting your attention is a gift you give yourself. It trains your mind to resist distractions. It builds your ability to focus deeply for longer periods. Over time, this makes you more productive and less stressed. Another part of saying no to noise is to be selective about what you consume mentally. Avoid constant news updates, social media scrolling, and negative conversations that drain your energy. Choose books, podcasts, and discussions that inspire you and teach you something valuable. Protect your mental diet the way you protect what you eat, what you feed. Your mind shapes your thoughts and feelings. When you guard against noise, you give your mind room to grow and think clearly. Mental noise often comes from inside as well as outside. Your mind may replay doubts, worries, or regrets that clutter your thinking. To say no to this internal noise, you must practice awareness. Notice when your thoughts are pulling you off course. Pause and ask yourself if these thoughts are helping or hurting. Choose to let go of what doesn't serve you. Replace mental clutter with simple, clear intentions. This habit trains your brain to focus on what matters instead of spinning in confusion. Saying no to noise is also about learning to say no to people when necessary. It's okay to decline invitations, requests, or conversations that pull you away from your priorities. Saying yes to everything leaves no space for what really matters. Respect your own time and energy by setting clear limits. When you protect your boundaries, you protect your ability to focus and perform at your best. This isn't selfish. It's necessary for growth and success. Your environment plays a big role in how much noise you face. Organize your workspace so it supports focus. Remove clutter. Keep only what you need close at hand. A clean, orderly space helps a clean, orderly mind. When your surroundings are calm, your mind can settle. This simple act of creating a peaceful environment reduces distractions and noise, allowing you to concentrate fully on your goal. Another tool to sharpen focus is practicing mindfulness. This means being fully present in the moment without judgment. Mindfulness trains your brain to catch distractions quickly and return your attention to what matters. The more you practice, the stronger your mental muscles become. You can sit down to work or make a decision without your mind wandering all over the place. Mindfulness is a skill that builds clarity and calm in a noisy world. Noise often feels overwhelming because it asks you to be everywhere at once. It pulls your thoughts into 1,000 directions. But you can't be productive like that. You must be deliberate. You must choose your focus like you choose your actions. Say no to noise. Say no to distractions. Say no to anything that doesn't serve your goals or your peace of mind. These decisions are not easy at first, but every time you make them, your mind becomes stronger and sharper. When your mind is focused, everything else gets easier. You make better decisions. You complete tasks faster. You handle stress with calm. You have more energy and confidence. People notice the difference because you're more present and engaged. Your life flows with purpose instead of chaos. That clarity comes from saying no to noise and yes to focus. The power to say no is a muscle that gets stronger with practice. It starts small. Maybe you ignore one distracting notification. Maybe you turn off your phone for an hour. Maybe you say no to a social event that pulls you away from your priorities. Each time you do this, you build your discipline. You prove to yourself that your mind is yours to control. Remember, you only have so much attention each day. It's one of your most valuable resources. When you waste it on noise, you rob yourself of progress and peace. When you protect it, you invest in your future. Your focus is your edge. Sharpen it by saying no to noise every day. Train your mind to seek calm and clarity. This is how you take control of your life and move steadily toward your goal. Number 10, challenge your thinking to become more disciplined. Discipline the mind begins with the willingness to question your own thoughts. Many people live their lives accepting what their mind throws at them without any examination. They believe every thought as if it is a fact. The key to mental discipline is learning to challenge the thoughts that come to you, especially the ones that limit you or hold you back. When you start questioning your thinking, you gain control over your mind instead of letting it control you. This process builds mental strength and clarity. Every day, your mind creates patterns of thinking that become habits. Some of these patterns help you grow. Others keep you stuck in old ways of reacting and believing. Discipline means recognizing those old patterns and confronting them. You must ask yourself if these thoughts are true, helpful, or aligned with your goals. This isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest and proactive. The moment you challenge a thought, you weaken its power over you. Many people never stop to reflect on their thoughts because it feels uncomfortable. It's easier to accept what's familiar than to question it. But growth never happens inside comfort zones. Growth demands discomfort. Challenging your thinking requires courage to face the beliefs that no longer serve you. You must become your own mind's detective. Search for proof. Look for evidence. When you find thoughts based on fear, doubt, or past failures, question them and choose better ones. Changing your thinking is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. You build discipline by making it a habit to pause and reflect on your thoughts. When a negative or lazy thought comes up, stop it immediately. Don't let it grow roots. Ask yourself what is really true in this thought. Replace it with a stronger, more positive thought. This practice is like exercise for your brain. The more you do it, the easier and faster it becomes. Sometimes your mind will resist this process. It will try to convince you to stay with the old patterns because they feel safe. But safety isn't the same as growth. Discipline is about pushing past the easy and comfortable to reach the better. and stronger. When you challenge your thinking regularly, you build mental toughness. You create new neural pathways that support resilience, focus, and confidence. One effective way to challenge your thinking is to write down your thoughts. When you put your thoughts on paper, they become clearer. You can see which ones are helpful and which are harmful. Writing helps you organize your mind and identify patterns you didn't notice before. After writing, read your thoughts critically. Ask yourself if these thoughts move you closer to your goals or hold you back. Then rewrite your thoughts to reflect what you want to believe instead. Discipline also comes from the language you use in your thoughts. Pay attention to the words you tell yourself. Are they full of doubt, excuses, and complaints? Or are they full of encouragement, determination, and possibility? Change the language of your thoughts, and you change the way your mind reacts. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I will find a way to do this." Words have power. Use them wisely. Another part of challenging your thinking is learning to accept constructive criticism. Sometimes other people see blind spots that you don't. Instead of defending yourself or dismissing feedback, use it as an opportunity to question your beliefs and habits. This takes humility and discipline. Not everyone is willing to listen and learn. Those who do are the ones who grow the most. Mental discipline grows when you surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking in positive ways. Seek mentors, friends, or coaches who ask hard questions and push you to improve. Their perspective can help you see where your thinking might be weak or limited. Be open to their insights, but filter what aligns with your values and goals. This external challenge can speed up your internal growth. You must also challenge your thinking about failure. Many people fear failure and let that fear limit their actions. Discipline means learning to view failure as feedback and not a final judgment. When you challenge the thought that failure is bad or that it defines you, you open the door to risk-taking and growth. This shift in mindset is essential for mental strength and progress. At times, your mind will try to convince you that change is impossible. It will cling to old stories about who you are or what you can do. Challenge those stories relentlessly. Ask yourself if they are really true today or just echoes of the past. You have the power to rewrite your story. Discipline your mind by refusing to accept outdated beliefs. Instead, create new narratives that support your vision and potential. Self-discipline in thinking requires patience and persistence. It does not happen overnight. You will face setbacks and moments of doubt. When this happens, remind yourself that every step forward counts. Every time you challenge a limiting thought, you build strength. Every time you refuse to believe a negative story, you claim power. Over time, these small victories add up to a strong, disciplined mind. Challenge your thinking by setting specific goals for your mental growth. Decide to reflect on your thoughts every day. Commit to replacing one negative thought with a positive one. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. This kind of focused practice creates momentum. It makes discipline a natural part of how you think and act. Mental discipline also means taking responsibility for your thoughts. No one else controls what you think. Your mind is yours alone. This truth is empowering but also demanding. It means you cannot blame circumstances, other people, or the past for your mental state. You are the gatekeeper of your thoughts. Choose to guard that gate with discipline and care. Challenge your thinking to move beyond excuses and self-sabotage. When you catch yourself making excuses, ask what better thought could replace it. When you notice yourself doubting, ask what proof you have that you can succeed. This habit transforms your inner dialogue and strengthens your resolve. The mind thrives on clarity and purpose. When you challenge your thinking, you clear away confusion and distraction. You gain a sharper sense of direction and confidence. Your decisions become wiser because they come from a disciplined mind that has been tested and refined. True mental discipline means being honest with yourself. It means facing uncomfortable truths and making changes. It means refusing to settle for the easy way out. When you challenge your thinking, you push beyond limits and grow into the person you want to be. The more you do this, the more your mind becomes a powerful tool for success and happiness. Your potential expands because you refuse to accept anything less than your best thinking. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It starts in your mind with the choice to challenge, question, and improve your thought. This is how you build a mind that is strong, clear, and unstoppable.